Welcome to Sunday Assembly. This is our 134th Assembly and our 59th online Assembly. Woo! I'm going to call you humans, because that's what you are, and the people on Zoom are Zoom humans. Let's call you Zoomins. Zoomins, be humans.
Zoomins.
Every assembly has a theme, and the theme for this assembly is justice. We have a media-free zone in the back, so we do stream this assembly live on Zoom, and also we put it up on YouTube after. So if you are sure don't want to be on the camera, then use the media-free zone right over there. Childcare, we have free childcare at Assemblies for kids 1 and a half up in that room over there. And if you want a flimsy excuse for a break, or your kids are welcome to stay with you during the assembly, right there you can park them. And I want to introduce you to the greatest brand in the West Coast, west of First Avenue, Paul and Jeff.
I'd like to introduce you to possibly one of the finest bass players on this stage at this time. Oh, everybody knows this song, I imagine. I've only sung it 1,000 times. This will be 1,001. Sometime in our life, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that always tomorrow. Lean on me, lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, no one can fill those of your needs that you want. Let me hear you now. Lean on me. Oh, when you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on each other when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Well, if there is a load that you have to bear, that you can't carry, well, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me. I said call me when you need a friend. Call me. Oh, yes, and call me. You know you got to call me, and you just call on each other when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. Just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. It won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to. Now we're gonna sing this one more time, but I have to ask you for a favor. I've done a million youth events, a lot of them for like churches and stuff. Whenever we would do this song, it's says 4, it won't be long, they would always yell 5. So it'd be 4, 5, it won't be long. So I just need you to yell out 5, so I'll just have a little nostalgic moment. Sing the chorus. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you. Here it comes. Oh, 4, 5. It won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Try and sing that song again without doing 5. Anytime your wife will hear it again, you'll always do 5.
Thank you so much, you two. It's such a great energy to start with. Well, the theme for today is Justice, and this is Pi Day-ish. The Sunday Assembly is a secular community that celebrates this one life that we know that we have. Our motto is live better, help often, and wonder more. Everybody is welcome here. We're radically inclusive, and we just really appreciate that you're here with us today. If this is your first assembly, and if you are so inclined, if you could just raise your hand, so then we keep it up for a second, and the rest of you look around and high five those folks with their hands up. Welcome to Sunday Assembly. We do a little thing at Sunday Assembly where virtual high fives work, where people in the community share the things that are happening in their life. It's called Life Happens. David Wasserman has paused his research for a full-time job because paused his research for a full-time job.
No, research.
Yes. Paused his search for a full-time job. Sorry. David Wasserman, research. David Wasserman has paused his search for a full-time job because his wife now has one. All right, David. Let's see if I can slot in the next one. From Wayne. My wife, Diane, has been in Omaha for 3 weeks visiting her parents as her dad recovers from lung congestion and skin infection, and they set up more care for her mom, moving from memory support to memory care. Much of this was a complicated mess, and Diane helped a great deal. We're sorry that she's not here with us today, but she is with us today on Zoom. Hi, Diane. My wife, Megan, just started a new job this week. Grateful for a new start and start of spring. That's from Anthony. This is some pie jokes. I'm going to turn you over to the pie joke curator.
Why should you never talk to pie? Because they will go on forever. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why
Why is pie so lucky in love? Because its love is infinite and non-repeating.
Thank you, pie curator.
The moon is not made of cheese. It's a pie in the sky.
Got a newish car, it's only 8,000 miles on it, that's new to me, on Monday. My favorite color, candy apple red, that's Cindy. Congratulations, Cindy. And then back to David Wasserman again. That's so great, thank you. If you have anything you want to share, please let us know. You can write them on a note card when you come in, and then I can slaughter them as I read them. Or if you have photos with your life happens, please let us know the week before the assembly, and we'll get them into the slides for you. We like to help out in the community, live better, help often, wonder more. Part of helping often is Help Happens, and our director for that is Jen McCown. Jen?
So we held our first cleanup for the year last weekend at our adopted beach at South Shores, which was actually really clean, like surprisingly clean. I'm not sure what was happening. But we still removed about 35 pounds of trash from the beach, which is pretty sad when the beach is so clean and you still can find 35 pounds of trash. Our next cleanup will be on Saturday, April 26th. We will be hosting the cleanup site for the Creek to Bay, cleanup site for the Creek to Bay cleanup in conjunction with I Love Clean San Diego. Our site will be at Cesar Chavez Park in Barrio Logan, and will be hosted by our lovely MC Gracie. Creek to Bay is the largest Earth Day cleanup in San Diego County with cleanup locations throughout the county. The website will be live on April 1st, so if you're not able to join us at Muddy or Logan, I encourage you to find a cleanup in your own area. The Creek to Bay event will kick off our Help Often Week, where assemblies around the world put a focus on our core mission to help often. We'll have at least one additional community service event that week, so please stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, last week we got price store. Do you happen to remember what the totals were, Jen, for trash and recyclables? It was 100 and something pounds, I don't remember, of trash.
Last year?
The last year at Price Square.
I don't remember.
No, but it was a lot. It was chunky. But it looked better when we were put done. Reading about women in science, we have our beloved helper, Arabella Lyon. Arabella, will you please come up?
Donna Strickland is an optical physicist. Donna Strickland was born on May 27, 1959 in Guelph, Ontario. She attended McMaster University, where she was one of 3 women in a class of 25. Strickland graduated with a Bachelor of Engineering degree in Engineering Physics in 1981. She then studied for her graduate degree at the Institute of Optics at the University of Rochester, receiving a Doctor of Philosophy degree in 1989. She conducted her doctoral research at the Associated Laboratory for Laser Engineering. Supervised by Jared Morrow, Strickland and Morrow worked to develop an experimental setup that could raise the peak power of laser pulses to overcome a limitation that when the maximal intensity of laser pulses reached gigawatts per square centimeter, self-focusing on the pulse severely damaged the amplifying part of the laser. Their 1985 technique of chirp pulse amplification allowed smaller high-power laser systems to be built on a technical laboratory optical scale. Because these ultra-brief and ultra-sharp light beams are capable of making extremely precise cuts, the technique is used in laser micromachining, laser surgery, medical, fundamental science studies, and other applications. It has enabled doctors to perform millions of corrective laser eye surgeries. Because of this achievement, the work received the 2018 Nobel Peace Prize in Physics. Nobel Prize in Physics. She became the 3rd woman ever to be awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics after Marie Curie in 1903 and Maria Mayer in 1963. Donna has won numerous other awards over her career, including the Companion of the Order of Canada in 2019, which is one of Canada's highest civilian honors. She was listed as one of BBC's 100 Women in 2019. She is currently a professor at University of Waterloo in Ontario, Canada, where she is working on the role of high-power lasers in the microcrystalline lenses of the human eye. During the process of micromachining of the eye lens to cure presbyopia, old age, farsight.
They were requesting the service just a little bit ago, so fantastic job. Thank you so much. We have a new section we've started, and we're about this. I think it's about our 4th one, where we have life hacks that make. One of us comes to show you the rest of us how to make our lives just a little bit easier. The trick is, though, that you only have 2 minutes to do it, and we're not kidding. Today's volunteer is Jeff Mangiapane. Your clock will start when you start, no pressure. Okay. Life hack today is about pickles. So I love pickles. I eat pickles all the time. I even drink pickle juice. It's just kind of weird. So I had these pickles, and I had finished them, and I had these other cucumbers and stuff, and I was like, well, what am I going to do with these cucumbers? Are getting old. So I cut them up, and I just put them in the pickle jar with the juice, the empty juice, and so I made my own new pickles. And you can put cauliflower in there, or what other vegetables you want. You can just do your own pickling, and you don't have to make your own juice.
Also, another little thing about pickle juice is it supposedly helps with cramps. A little bit better than water. Bikers and joggers sometimes add pickle juice to their water and speeds up the cramping relief. So that's my little life hack.
Jeff, you don't have more? I don't have a whole minute left. Does this mean that the next person has 3 minutes? I don't know what we do with this extra minute. Jeff, we'll have to talk after.
I'll use the word.
So if you do have a useful life hack, please come see me or one of the other organizers here for Sunday Assembly. Reading an excerpt from the illustrated book of bag arguments, Learn the Loss of Making Sense by Ali Amosawi and Alejandro Girardo, read by Steve Bay. Steve, come on up. As Steve's coming up, I will tell you that he was super excited to learn this.
Yes, it's your dad, that's right. So I'm so glad that Gracie actually introduced the book, because it's a kind of a mouthful of a title, so thank you. But it's a beautiful book with illustrations, including a mapping of the families of fallacies that might be. For example, there are many types of red herrings and many types of informal fallacies, so it's very exciting. We're just reading one today. You don't have to spend the next hour here with this book. All right, so the excerpt today is not a cause for a cause. This fallacy assumes a cause for an event where there is no evidence that one exists. When two events occur one after the other, or simultaneously, this may be by coincidence or due to some other unknown factor. One cannot conclude that one event caused the other without evidence. The recent earthquake was because we disobeyed the king is not a good argument. This fallacy has two subtypes: after this, therefore because of this, post hoc ergo propter hoc, and with this, therefore because of this, which is a different Latin than I would say. With the former, because one event preceded another, is said to have been the cause. With the latter, because an event happened at the same time, it is said to have been the cause. In various disciplines, it's also known as confusing correlation with causation. There's one example, paraphrased from comedian Stuart Lee, who says, "I cannot say that because in 1976, I did a drawing of a robot, and then Star Wars came out, they must have copied the idea from me." So that's not a cause for a cause. And there's a nice illustration here about a beaver who says, "At the end of every night, and shortly before dawn, the beaver walks all the way up to the top of the mountain and asks the sun to come out. The sun always obeys."
Am I here because you came up? I'm wondering now. We have a wonderful speaker today, Dr. Aaron Rabinowitz. Aaron Rabinowitz is a researcher, podcast host, speaker, and nonprofit founder. He specializes in studying how our understanding of luck impacts our ethics at an individual and societal level. With a PhD in education from Rutgers, New Brunswick Graduate School of Education, and a master's in philosophy from Colorado State University, he's taught ethics in both formal and informal educational spaces. He is co-founder and current ethics director for the Creator Accountability Network, a nonprofit that uses restorative justice practices to help content creators and communities address and avoid instances of harassment, abuse, and harm. He also hosts two podcasts, Embrace the Void and Philosophers in Space, both of which are aimed at making philosophy enjoyable and accessible for the non-philosopher. They're all current, they're a little more than an hour, and they're super cool. Definitely check it out. His forthcoming book, Luck Pilled, a new pedagogy of luck. Pedagogy, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Pedagogy, I knew that too. Darn, I looked it up and I did it wrong. A new pedagogy, one of those of luck, advances a new philosophy of luck and has practical applications in education and beyond. Aaron will stay after the assembly to answer questions, like how do you pronounce that word? So please hold it until then. Please welcome Dr. Aaron Rabinowitz.
Hi, can you hear me okay? Yeah. Okay, great. Perfect. All right. Thank you all so much for letting me come and speak with your group about one of my many obsessions. I'm going to talk today about the just world illusion, which is something that is buried deep inside of all of us and unfortunately makes us worse people. I first learned about this and got very interested in it because of my work on the issue of luck and beliefs about luck. I became obsessed for a decade with the idea, what's called the problem of luck or moral luck, which is that everything we do is so run through with luck that it seems like it is beyond our control in the way needed for moral responsibility. And I have hopefully come to a solution for that problem, one which involves all of us coming to terms with the pervasiveness of luck in our lives. But in the process, I spoke to a lot of groups about luck, and I experienced a lot of pushback about this topic. A disproportionate amount, it felt like, to what the conversation was. And it wasn't until I got to my PhD program and started studying psychology and education that I found out why. And what I believe is I was running up against my nemesis, the just world illusion, and some other illusions that cluster around it. So what I'm going to cover here is the psychology of the just world illusion cluster, as I call it, which includes not just the just world, but the belief in divine justice, in free will, and in meritocracy. And depending on who you are and your background, one of those is going to sound more or less scary to you. I'm going to talk about the problem, why these illusions manifest, and how they harm us, even in our progressive communities. And then I'm going to talk about a solution, which is how talking about luck is the best way to escape this illusion. Now, I'm always curious which scientific ideas have actually broken containment and made it to the larger population. Have any of y'all ever heard of the just world illusion? Or you might have heard of it in terms of just world belief. Yeah, and it's not super well known. If you have heard about it, you've probably heard about it in connection with the concept of victim blaming, because just world belief is one of the dominant theories about why people engage in victim blaming, and why they engage in some particularly weird forms of victim blaming, such as if the person who is a victim is someone they feel like they are closely identified with. That makes them more likely to blame the victim. Now, the just world illusion, which was originally sort of coined and researched by Melvin Lerner in the 80s, is calling it a belief is a bit of a misnomer. That's unfortunately what caught on, because that suggests to you a conscious belief, right? And if I asked you right now how many of you think the world is just, I think even fewer of you would raise your hands, right? But it's not just a belief. It is the need to believe that the world is just, or to feel that your world is just. Now, a bunch of other qualifiers come in here, things like it matters more to you that your own personal world is just than one very far away. It matters more to you that it's mostly just than necessarily all the way just. But what we basically see is there's a deep psychological need to feel that you are living in a just world, and the main reason probably is because it's tied to your sense of control. If you think about it, if the world is just, and I can figure out what the moral rules are, and I follow those rules, nothing bad will happen to me, right? That is a powerful sense of control. And when that sense of control is threatened, bad things happen. So the just world illusion in the research is tied to things like conservatism, victim blaming, demonizing of the unfortunate. And when we feel our conflicts, what happens is we distort our reality rather than reshape our beliefs or our illusions in this way to address these problems. Now, I'm going to talk about a cluster of illusions. The just world doesn't just work on its own, I think. It has some friends, it has a posse. And the common thread for this group is deservingness. So this is what you refer to when you say that person deserved that, or didn't. In some way they deserved their outcomes. And what I'm going to argue here is that deservingness is something that you should abolish from your beliefs. It is not doing you any good at all. So, the just world illusion cluster. If we think about the just world illusion itself as like our quarterback in our brains, right? These illusions show up as our front line of defense. They are there to stop that illusion from being harmed when we inevitably experience injustice in the world, because, to be clear, we do not live in a just world. These illusions can show up in different degrees for different people. So one illusion that was very early that they identified as being connected to the just world illusion is that of divine justice or cosmic justice. This refers to some sort of belief that whatever happens in this world is balanced out on a long enough timeline across enough lives. It doesn't necessarily mean a belief in a God or a divine plan. It could be belief in karma. It could be belief in manifestation or the laws of attraction. Anything that has that idea to it that there is a system of fairness in the world that goes above and beyond our human systems of fairness, right? Now, some people do away with some of these beliefs. So you might personally say, well, I don't have divine justice, right? I don't believe in that anymore, if you used to or not. But you still might, to some extent, believe in these other ones. And what happens is, when you believe in those, they tend to fill in the gaps. So, belief in free will, right? How many of you would say you believe in some form of free will? There's some hands, right? And again, it all depends what you mean, right? Now, the psychological research on this is pretty stark, which is when people actually say someone has free will, when they make a free will attribution in this way, what they're really doing is an ad hoc, we just learned about ad hoc, right? An ad hoc justification for their desire to punish that person. That's what's actually going on. You have a deeply felt desire to punish, but part of you knows hurting someone is bad, so you have to justify that. So what happens is you end up attributing their actions to them as bad people who have control over their actions, as opposed to acknowledging all of the factors that went into all of that. And then finally we have meritocracy. How many of you believe that we live in a meritocracy? Yeah, not so much. How many of you believe that we should live in a meritocracy?
That would be nice.
Probably a few more, right? I'm here to tell you we shouldn't. Which is unusual because most human beings think that a meritocracy is preferable to all of the alternatives. But what goes on in a meritocracy is not necessarily what you just think of when you hear that term, which is, my doctor went to school, right? A meritocracy is actually about deservingness. When we believe in meritocracy, what we believe is people mostly deserve their outcomes. If you succeed, it's mostly because you deserve to succeed. If you fail, it's because you deserve to fail, right? So your merit determined those things in a proper functioning meritocracy, right? But what I'm here again to say is deservingness is at the root of all of our problems. So these all illusions all come together. They reinforce each other. Even if you let go of one of them, if you don't let go of all of them, they still cause various problems. So this is why the rest of us aren't off the hook, right? You might be saying, I want the world to be just. What's bad about that? But I don't think it is, so I totally don't have this problem. Well, what the research says is, even if you're not necessarily consciously believing this, you may still act in various ways that suggest you do hold, you harbor this illusion, this need to believe that things are just. There's some pretty weird studies on this too. People will believe that outcomes are just even though they know that they are done by chance. People will attribute all sorts of strange causal explanations. So one of the key behaviors that is tied to the just world illusion is fundamental attribution errors, which is the very fancy scientific term for when I cut you off in traffic, I have a good reason. I was late, I didn't see you, it's totally fine. When you cut me off in traffic, it's because you're a terrible person. So it's attribution errors where we attribute other people's behavior to inner negative features of them rather than to the same kind of causes that we would use to let ourselves off the hook in those kind of situations. What I also think you see a lot of tied to this, especially in progressive spaces, is what I call retributive wokeness. Okay? So we're all probably familiar with wokeness at this point. That's been beaten to death. What I see, unfortunately, and I self-identify as woke, is in a lot of the woke spaces, there are strains of retributiveness, the desire to see bad people suffer, right? To see the people who have caused harm, to have set up an unjust world, to see them personally suffer, right? And I think this is a problem for us. I think this leads to harmful behavior. It leads to not building community and coalition in the way that we want to. And it leads to the kind of demonizing that we see of people who I would argue have bad moral luck, right? Some people have really bad moral luck, and that is bad for them and bad for the people around them. But if we reject the ideas of free will and we understand the causes of those behaviors, while we might want to prevent those behaviors, we have to recognize nobody deserves to suffer because of those behaviors. For every person you can think of, there are abundance of explanations for why they are acting the way that they are. In the literature on moral luck, one of the classic examples is the luck of not being born in 1930s Germany. Because if you were born in 1930s Germany, you would probably have been in the Nazi party. Or you'd have been in one of the camps with me, one or the other, right? Most people did that. Very few people joined the White Rose, right? So those people had the very bad luck of being born in a situation where that was the dominant cultural narrative. And other people in those situations had the good moral luck of realizing that was terrible and resisting it, and usually suffering the bad luck of dying because of that. So, retributive wokeness, right? Think, for example, whenever something bad happens to billionaires, right? There's a lot of partying on the internet about it. And again, I understand, but, right, like with dessert, too much of that sends you in a bad place. And then finally, in spaces like ours, no matter how sort of progressive people get, people still tend to hold on to the illusion of meritocracy. They want a world in which people deserve their outcomes. They just want to make the world closer to that kind of world. And so that results in some very weird behaviors from progressives. So for example, there's a really interesting study where if you do the wrong kind of white privilege education, if you try to teach white people about their white privilege, but you don't do a good job with it, or even if you just do a very basic job of pointing it out, what happens is you make liberals more conservative towards poor white people. You convince them, without realizing it, that those poor white people deserve to be poor. So, that sort of driving people towards those deservingness attributions then results in more conservative policies towards poor people in general. So what's the solution here? And again, this is only 15 minutes. I'm happy to say more after. But just to condense it down for us, the solution is to accept that everything is luck, all the way down. All of it. And what I mean here by luck is that it is beyond your control in the sense needed for deservingness. Right? We had this great question of the month over here. How much do you control your destiny? I'm like a philosopher. I'm like, well, what do you mean by you? What do you mean by control? What do you mean by destiny? Right? Control is a really important word. We can all acknowledge we have a kind of control. I can click the button on here, right? That's a kind of control we call direct control. But what we don't have is what we call relevant control, this kind of control. We know those things come apart, right? We live in America, so that we know that children can get a hold of handguns and kill other children. We don't think that those children deserve to be punished because of that. It's a tragedy, right? And what I'm saying is, I just want to expand that to recognize that's true of everybody all the time. So what is the result of this? It doesn't mean that nothing matters. The big concern that comes up here is often fatalism or nihilism. If everything's luck, what's the point in acting? Why does anything matter? But that's not how it works. What it means is that we should stop trying to figure out who deserves things and instead focus on getting people what they need to flourish. We replace our ethics of deservingness with an ethics of need. And what this does is it promotes a bunch of virtues that make us better people. Compassion. There but for the grace of luck go I. Right? Empathy. What kind of luck is that person experiencing that made them act the way they did? Gratitude. There but for the grace of luck go I. And humility, right? I'm just a product of luck. If things go well for me, right, then that is just another kind of luck. And these behaviors then, those virtues combined with removing your sense of deservingness is, I think, the best chance we have of rooting out that just world illusion cluster and replacing it with something healthier. right? You gotta swap it out with something better, or you probably do cause harm. What this then reduces is harmful behaviors. Victim blaming, attribution errors, retributive impulses, which we can replace with restorative impulses, ways to help our community members meet their needs so they do not cause harm in the future. So this is my hopeful solution. And it's not just purely theoretical. I have a little bit of evidence to back this up. I've got some research forthcoming where we have done interventions on people's beliefs about the pervasiveness of luck. And what we have found is, if you increase their belief in the pervasiveness of luck in the right way, with the right kind of educational scaffolding, what it does is, it decreases not just their belief that we live in a meritocracy, but their desire to live in one. They recognize, hopefully, that it is not good to try to figure out who deserves what in this kind of way. At the same time, you see an increase in their life satisfaction, their sense of whether they live a good life. And there's no increase in fatalism, which is very important, right? If you do this the right way, it's very important because there are ways that you can cause nihilism. So I call this luck pilling. The only other community I know of in the world who talks about luck pilling are incels, which is a community of people who often turn towards violence because they go from luck pilled to black pilled, which is what we mean when we say someone is nihilistic, right? They think there's no hope and they turn towards violence. But as people are, I think, in our lives, more and more confronted, just forced to acknowledge the absolute pervasiveness of luck, if you don't give them this kind of scaffolding to help them figure out how to think and act ethically in that world, the risk is they will slide in that other direction, or they'll slide into other kinds of hopelessness because they recognize that meritocracy isn't real and they're being lied to. Or they'll continue to believe these illusions and that'll result in them feeling bad if they have not succeeded. And then they will, turn into angry populists, for example. So I think all this directly ties to the rise of populism, angry kinds of populism, especially on the right, where people who can't reject meritocracy instead blame it on, minority others who are the reason that they aren't getting a fair shake. So, by increasing people's luck pervasiveness, we can reduce these desires for deservingness, we can improve people's awareness of what is good in their lives, and make them feel less guilty when they unfortunately cause harm, as we all do sometimes. You can have self-compassion as well. That doesn't mean that you don't try to do better. It means you're actually more effective at doing better because you're not stuck wallowing in that guilt. You're trying to figure out what I can do better next time. So, there could be lots of questions that come out of this, right? I am happy to stay after and talk as much as possible about as many of those kind of questions, but I just want to answer one right here for everybody, which is, am I allowed to feel good? Because some people might feel what you just said is all my comforting illusions have to go away and now I'm sad. And I don't want to be sad, and therefore your theory is false. You don't have to be sad. In fact, you can be happier if you believe this, I think. That's the point. You can be happy with gratitude and with humility. Those are virtues that actually improve your standard quality of life. You can feel satisfied about your progress while recognizing that it was the result of luck. That will motivate you to pay it forward, right? To spend your luck helping other people. You can embrace critical social justice, the idea that we need to make our world much better than it is, and you will do better at it because you are not getting sucked into moral superiority or retributive mindsets. You are actually taking a clear-eyed approach to recognizing the pervasiveness of luck and then doing things to change it. You can practice mindfulness about your own attribution errors because look, these are behavioral habits. They don't go away the moment that you hear an explanation for why they're false. It's a practice. You have to catch yourself every day noticing, oh, I just reflexively said that person deserves something. That's not true, right? That was just bad luck for them or something. And then finally, right, the goal here isn't guilt. It's just an accurate picture of how the world actually is, freed from illusions, which makes you better able to engage with everyone around you, including yourself, in a more compassionate and ethical way. So that is my view. Thank you for giving me a chance to share. If you have any questions, and also, like they said, there's going to be a book coming out eventually, so hopefully that will answer a bunch of the questions for you. Thank you all so very much.
That group of people I mentioned before, Paul and Jeff.
It's okay.
Okay, better. Thank you. We'll now sing the song "Come to Get Together." I'll leave it to you guys. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I just want to say that we're very lucky that most of us have earned the right to sing this song. This was written by Jesse Colin Young, and it was a big hit by a group called the Youngbloods. Imagine where they got their name. I just found out this morning that Jesse Colin Young's real name is Harry Miller. Love is but a song we sing, fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, you may not know why. Here comes chorus now, and come on,
And you're right, the Miller Bloods would not have been nearly as good.
No.
Good morning. I know many of you here, I'm happy to say, and some of you I know quite well. But there's some of you that I don't know, so please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Gracie Soden. I've been volunteering for Sunday Assembly since 2013. I serve on the board. There's 12 other people on the board. And right now I am the volunteer coordinator, so I make sure that the volunteers are coordinated. That's the test we have. Make sure you get in there. You can find me if you want to join Sunday Assembly and do something more than be in the audience, which we love. Thank you all for being here. But if you want to do some hands-on something, come find me. You'll find cleaning up or futzing somewhere, making sure things are clean. It's a beautiful thing that happens after every Sunday Assembly so far, where people stand up and they go get their pie, and then they stand together and they chat. Sometimes there's people that have never met each other, and I feel so proud seeing the group of people out there doing that. To be a part of a team that helps to make that happen. But I personally have anxiety, and it's uncomfortable for me having the small talk. I feel more comfortable having big talk in small groups of people and talking about real things. But small talk, I don't poo-poo it. It's very important. Small talk is how we lay the groundwork for what we'll talk to people about. Assembler and psychotherapist Dr. Lynn Warner says of small talk that it lays the groundwork, and it is the moment at which people establish trust with one another. And that is very important. In 2014, two researchers, Nicholas Epley and Juliana Schroeder, conducted an experiment in Chicago with bus and train riders. And they had three groups of people. A large group of people that were instructed that when they made their travels, that they were to strike up a conversation with a stranger. A group of people that were instructed to stay silent, and then the control group was just do whatever you normally do. Well, contrary to what people thought would be the answer, because a lot of people think that being silent is the most comforting thing. But it turns out that overwhelmingly the people that struck up a conversation with a stranger found their travels to be much, much more pleasant. And I think that's true when we take a chance to talk to each other. Small talk is important, because if it wasn't, if you just started in a big talk, like my introduction would be different. Hi, I'm Gracie Soden. There's many of you that are here today that I know, and I'm so glad, because I'm so anxious being up here in front of you. I took some medication so that I could do what I'm doing right now. I appreciate that there are people here that I know, and my anxiety is born out of several things. One is that I will have a horrible MC address and botch words like demagogy, and that afterwards it'll be really awkward and people will not look at me and stuff like that, and I worry about that. But I also worry that my transgender status could be off-putting for some people, because at work a lot of times, I just move through the world now as just another woman in the world, but when people spend any time with me, they realize that I'm transgender, and I always worry whether that's going to happen halfway through a sentence with somebody where they do that. And I do have a worry about that, because in this environment, there was a record 850 bills entered into legislation all over the country that are anti-trans bills. And people feel more emboldened to do the misgendering on purpose, or sometimes people use a name that's closer to a guy's name instead of Gracie. And I worry with men especially, because sometimes a man will come up and say, oh, you have a really pretty smile. And I'm afraid that in the middle of, after saying, he realizes that I'm trans, and he get angry, that maybe that could even turn violent, because there was 27 trans women killed in the United States last year that we know of that were killed simply because they were trans. And I have that fear. Also, 7 years ago, this August, I changed my hormone regimen. And the hormones that I grew up with for decades, they made me think I was right a lot. I was very confident in my ideas, and I thought if I had an idea that was the right idea, and I felt entirely competent. But these days, I'm not so sure, and I have a lot more trouble with that. But I met in 2011 this person who was my best friend, who I married in 2013, and they supported me all the way through my transition entirely. And that hasn't been easy, because I had so much trouble. I was taking things personally, and I was the boss of everybody and 400 people, and I couldn't help other people during that time. I just couldn't. I could barely help myself. So I stepped all the way down. I'm boxing groceries now, and it's lovely. And also this community that's been here supporting me. And if they don't support just trans people, they support everybody. Doesn't matter. You only have one bar to pass to be in here. And that's just you've got to be nice to each other. That's pretty much it. We have no other dogma, nothing else. And I wish that it was possible. Smiling has been my armor. That's what I've done. It's just I just smile and fake it till you make it. I just smile at everybody, and it changes my somewhat very masculine face to a more feminine face, and it allows me to move through the world as a woman. And I wish you could start with the big talk, but the small talk is very important. And I smile now. I smile from my heart. I smile because I'm so happy. The decades of hiding and living a lie, I had panic attacks when I first started, but now I feel like I was disciplined for acting out when I was a child, and I tell my wife that I learned how to go to boys' school, so I learned some things that I could fit in with my male colleagues or the men around me, but I just never really felt comfortable in those situations. And now I smile from my heart because I feel like I have acceptance. It's allowed me to write myself and to be perfectly confident in the person I am, and I never worry about whether somebody, before I'd worry if somebody liked me, or maybe even if I was having a relationship with somebody, that if they knew who I was, would they really like me? And so consequently, I self-medicated with drugs and alcohol, and I had a pretty hard road until now. So I smile from my heart. But if we could start with the big talk, I think it would be great. So here's what I would like to do. We're going to have a breakout session. A breakout session means you're going to find one of these post-it notes on the floor, numbered 1 through 8. And if you would form into groups of 5, no more than 8 people, please. And then my captain of the questions is going to pass out. That's Oz. Oz, can you come on up? Of the questions is going to pass a big talk question to you, and you just start right in on the big talk with somebody you don't know probably. So if I can ask you to break into the sections right there. Please just go on and find your place. We'll have an organizer in each group so that they can monitor what's going on. Our next event is a moment of silence, so I will just start that now as you get back to your seats. A moment of silent reflection. Thank you. I suspect most of you have done this, but if you haven't, please take a look at the beautiful view we have here. We love our venue. It was built as it's entirely ADA compliant. It was built in the 40s for the disability community. It's called the Indoor Sports Club, which in the 1940s, a sport was somebody who went out and did a lot of things. So that was an outdoor sport. An indoor sport was somebody who stayed in. The term they used in those days was shut-ins, but this has been a community center all the way for nearly 80 years. What's coming up? Let me tell you a little bit about what's happening. First, I want to extend a hearty thank you to my pie wrangler, Arabella. They did a fantastic job. If you go back and you see the pie back there, they made the sign, and I'm indebted to them for doing such a fantastic job. So as soon as we break up here, go help yourself to some pie. They're savory and otherwise, and thank you to those of you who brought pie. Much, much, much appreciated. We have Pie Fest right after the Assembly. We have a vernal equinox backyard party. The vernal equinox is actually in the morning the day before. However, the first full day of spring will be happening on March 21st. That's in Assembler's backyard. And it's usually 30 or 40 people. And we paint rocks and have a good time and have some, there's food for all diets. So please consider coming. There's a No Kings March on the 28th. If you're interested in marching with some people, Sunday Assembly will be there and be represented. You can find about that on the meetup. And then we're going to have a group hike in Sweetwater Park. That was originally scheduled for the 28th, but as they scheduled the No Kings March, we will do it on April 4th. So that's 4 at 4. And Sweetwater Park is the new park that they've built west of the new hotel in Chula Vista, which is the Gaylord Pacific Hotel. It's the largest hotel on the west coast of California. All the details for that are on our meetup page, Sunday Assembly San Diego, and lots and lots of stuff to do, and even more than that. And even though I don't have my last page, I know that Paul and Jeff are going to do something, so I'm sending it to them.
Okay. I just need to tell you one other little piece about the previous song where we did the 4-5 thing. 4-5. It won't be long, short, till I'm going to need elbow. That's what they did. I was tormented by youth groups. I want you to try this. Ziggy Marley's song. Oh, 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 we can really make it better, yeah. Oh, oh, la, 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 only if we try. Sing. Oh, 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 we can really make it better, yeah. Oh, oh, la, 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 only if we. One more time. Oh, 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 we can really make it better, yeah. Oh, la, 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 only if we try. I'm gonna pick this up real quick. We've got to give a little love, have a little hope, make this world a little better. Try a little more, harder than before, to do what we can do together. Oh, 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 we can really make it better, yeah. Oh, la, 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 only if we try. Living in this crazy world, so caught up in the confusion, all of us make some sense, for me and you. Maybe we can find a way, there's got to be a solution, how to make a brighter day. What can we? We've got to give a little love, stand a little love, make this world a little better. Try a little more, harder than before, do what we can do together. Oh, 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 oh. We
we have the Zoom-ins are going to come over here and we'll say hello to them. Perhaps I did that without giving her any warning. We're all volunteers here, dependent on donations to keep this whole thing going, including every assembly, meetup event, community service project, and other gatherings. So if you can, stick some cash into one of the jars or use our QR code in our program to help with a monthly recurring donations. Every penny truly counts. So thank you so much. Let's say hello to the Zoom-ins.
Let's sing to them. Oh.